Nandu Lal Joshi ji, who happens to be more Krishna Bhakta than most Krishna Bhaktas and more Indian than most Indians.
I'm just a little one.
Nandu ji, welcome.
Small.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's my honor. Thank you. Thank you.
So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, your journey so far, and then we take it further from there.
Sure. So, yeah, I had the greatest fortune of having spiritual parents, Krishna Bhaktas, from my parents, and because of their grace, I had an early start on this divine path of bhakti. And I went to the Gurukul over here in Vrindavan, the ISKCON Gurukul of Bhaktivedanta Swami International Gurukula. And from a very young age, we studied Sanskrit and the Gita, Bhagavat, Sankirtan, mantras, bhajans, puja, adi, and these kind of things. So, that education for me, as far as I can see, is what propelled me into this divine path. And therefore, I am a firm believer that the education that a child gets is the crux, is the defining factor of their whole life. Their whole life. If you're gonna get a mechanical engineering education, you are gonna become a bolt in that machine.
By the way, when you talk about education, this is a very important subject, and the kind of education that we are providing today,
right?
Is it helping us create the kind of society that we ought to have?
Very good question, actually, because we have lost the plot. Let me tell you, I could not say it more affirmatively, that this educational system is, like Srila Prabhupada used to say, is a slaughterhouse of spirit. It takes all possibility out of the person to actually endeavor for that path. You come out of your high school and you're already got you're stuffed with a bunch of useless education that you're not going to use for the rest of your life. Who cares about sine theta, cos theta, and this theta and all that stuff, and geometrical angles and this angle. I mean, come on. Why should someone who wants to be a gardener have to learn all this jargon? You know what I mean? It's just like useless stuff. It's a trick. It's like putting a bunch of toys in front of the kid with a TV so that the kid feels like he might be getting an education. Parents think that they're getting an education, but they're just being kept busy. Just keep on. It's like you tell a monkey, go up and down this pole. Just go up and down this pole all day long. And then you're gonna, that's my way of engaging your mind. This is a joke. The education today, this is very important, is just creating nuts and bolts in a machine of money making. Money making is the goal of life. I understand that money is important. Let's not get that. But money making is not the very goal of human life. It cannot be. It is a means. But the system right now is made such, you come out of high school, you go straight into college. You come out of college, you got a straight up job. And once you're stuck in your job, you've got bills, you've got family, you've got this, you've got that. Forget about having time to actually go inwards, to actually have an option even, to discover more than just your job. So this education, like, I am a firm believer. I mean, it is a slaughterhouse of spirits.
By the way, I think the kind of situation that we are having in our society, it's also a result of governance issues.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think we are all part of this ICANGOVERN initiative, which I think it's a concept in the sense that we all need to start from ourselves.
Absolutely.
And you have taken a journey, you're taking care of cows here in Vrindavan.
Yes.
And then doing so many other things. Well, I think there can be different ways of how to go forward, but everyone has to choose one path and start looking the way he or she should walk before asking others to,
Right.
just do it this way or that way. What do you think? How should we look forward to sort of improving basic governance, even water, air,
Right.
jobs, roads, cleanliness, so many things.
So many things that need.
These are the things
governance.
ultimately which lead you to God as well, maybe.
Absolutely. You see, governance has so many, what do you call it? Tentacles. But the core tentacle, the core of this governance starts from me, you, individual. You see, we need to be governed properly. You see, I need my life governed in the right way in order for me to even deserve a proper government. What am I going to do if I'm a mess with a car? What am I going to do if I'm a mess with the possibility of a beautiful garden? I'm going to destroy everything I touch. You see, that jinx of a misgoverned life, of a mismanaged potentiality, you see, of a misthought out reality. You haven't thought of it straightly. All you see is money. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn into egocentric, self-obsessed, greedy, person who takes every opportunity to squeeze Mother Nature, to squeeze the other person, to squeeze every opportunity for whose gain? My gain.
But then many people would say this is too abstract to understand. How would you make a bureaucrat or a politician actually deal with daily issues? There are so many complexities.
Well, see, a politician, a bureaucrat, if he has a deep-rooted sense of who he is, compassion, genuineness, sincerity, then you can mark my word, he would be a great politician. He'd be a great bureaucrat. He would have a great business. He'd be a great CEO. He would have all these things in the right place. If his internal self is correctly adjusted to the real picture of what's going on in this massive, awesome cosmos, we need to first understand the bigger picture in order to actually get what's the real way to do things. If I'm just seeing my surroundings and I'm making decisions that affect the bigger picture, it's not going to, eventually you're going to come to a dead end. You're going to come to a place where you have made the wrong decision.
Many people would say that, we are not politicians, we are just common people, it's their job. Where does it begin?
Yeah. Well, when you got no idea of what's the point of life, then it begins with money. Really, honestly, when you ask an animal, what does he want? He's going to say food. Because he has no other vision for life. All of these people who have no idea what is the goal of life are not better than animals. Let me tell you straight up. If you got no vision for life, if you got no perspective of who you are in relation to the totality with everything else around you, and all you can think of is just your immediate necessity, then you are not better than an animal.
As a citizen.
As a citizen. If it's just you at all times, then you can expect total misgovernance of everything. Because everyone's going to be at each other's throats. Everyone's going to be at each other's possessions. How can I get more out of it? How can I be the benefactor of every possibility?
People often say, this is a wonderful point that you said, that it has to include everyone. At the same time, many people say, we don't get time, we are caught up in so many things. We hardly get time to think about social issues, or for that matter, even things that actually relate to you.
Right.
What would you say to them? You manage so many things here. How should they look forward?
If people don't have time for their personal benefit and for the benefit of others, I feel sorry for you, Prabhu. Really, you need to wake up. You need to stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Take a minute to think. It's not okay to continue in this mindless direction of egocentrism, in this mindless governance of your personal self and everything else around you. You see, this world where we stand today, with this corona and all this absolute destruction of Mother Nature, and this just total pollution of everything that we see, everything sacred has been just trashed. That is a direct cause of this mindless governance of our self and this planet. It's just money, 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 and look where we have come. We have not made progress. We have made regress.
We have made regress.
I just want to bring to our attention here. There used to be a time when the villager was satisfied. He didn't feel like he needed much more than what he had. It was simple. Simplicity was the thread. It was a virtue. It was what made us have time. It had time for relationships. The whole village was involved in a child's life.
And things happened so easily.
So easily. It was so simple. It was absolutely stress-free. Now, with this so-called progress, forget about satisfaction. You have 1 lakh, your expenses are already 1.5 lakhs. You have 1 crore, your expenses are 2 crores. So you are never on a level of satisfaction and peacefulness of mind. So what kind of progress is this? What kind of governance is this? This capitalistic society is a mismanaged system.
And you'll never have time for anything.
Nothing, ever. Let's get that straight off the bat. You'll never have time.
Wonderful.
You'll never have enough. You'll never have satisfaction. And if you don't have satisfaction, you have nothing.
You have nothing.
Really, you really don't have nothing. Because
by the way, it's also at times many would say that it's an issue of capability. Nandu Lal Ji can do it. Tilak can do it. I cannot do it because I'm not capable. Is it really capability, or do for that matter even measure, understand what capability really is?
Right. I think capability is just simplicity of heart. Are you capable of saying, I want a simple life? Is it possible that we can have that capacity to not be greedy and to not look at the other and say, I also want that? Is it possible to know our limits and live our life with our full picture taken into consideration? If I'm not rich, then what are my options to be happy? Is it possible to just have a spiritual perspective to life? Maybe, okay, I don't have $1 million, and I definitely don't have the capacity to run a big family. Is it possible for you to say, okay, then I don't need a family? Is it possible that you can say, I don't need children? Is it possible for you to say that maybe I can live in a farm?
Many would say, दुनिया ऐसे नहीं चलती भाई.
हाँ, दुनिया ऐसे नहीं चलती है, तो जैसे आप चला रहे हो प्रभु, अगर वैसे चल रही हो तो चलाते रहो. हम आपको रोकेंगे नहीं. आपको खुद दुनिया ही बता देगी कि कितना आनंद आ रहा है उसमें. हम उसमें प्रभु जी फिर हमको खुद ही अपना चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस करने का जिम्मेदारी और किसी का नहीं है, आप ही का है. देखना कि चल रहा है गाड़ी कि नहीं चल रहा है गाड़ी. ठीक है, अगर आप नहीं करोगे तो आप ही भोगोगे. आप ही सुख या दुख के आप ही भागीदार आप ही हैं और कोई नहीं है यहाँ. इसलिए जिम्मेदारी, ये मनुष्य जीवन का मतलब जिम्मेदारी, responsibility is the definition of this human form of life. We are responsible for our surroundings. We're responsible for this planet. We're responsible for the animals. We're responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our relationships. We are responsible for our joy and suffering. Nobody else is responsible for this. Let me just rephrase that. Nobody is responsible for your life. You need to do the checks and balances to see if it's working for you or not. And that's where this capacity, जैसे आप बोल रहे हैं, to say ये तो जीवन ऐसे नहीं चलता है. It's your choice. It's your choice. Our acharyas, our masters who have treaded this path of life have given us very simple tenets to live by. You know? Srila Prabhupada said, purity is the force, simplicity is the principle. You know? Simplicity. Srila Prabhupada made it very clear. He said, try as much as you can to live from Mother Earth.
So all it is that matters is effort. That's it.
Effort. You have the
honest
capacity.
effort.
You have the capacity to drop what doesn't work for you and to accept what works for you. It's my absolute pleasure and honor. I just pray that, you know, our dear brothers and sisters out there who have been programmed with this modern education, you know, with very limited perspective for life and total dependence on money, that maybe you, my dear brothers and sisters, will have the capacity to break free, unshackle your minds from this toxic programming of modern capitalistic thought. That's my prayer for you. Really, from the core of my heart. I pray that you may connect with yourself, find yourself, and find that bliss that is just
नंदूलाल जी,
all pervasive.
आप कृष्ण भक्त भी हैं, कुछ भजन, कुछ गायन के साथ 2 पंक्तियों में आप अंत करना चाहेंगे?
कुछ भजन? हाँ, क्यों नहीं प्रभु जी। तो इसी के थीम के ऊपर ही एक छोटा सा भजन गा लेते हैं, है ना? भजन तो क्या है, हमारी कुछ लिखी हुई एक पंक्तियां हैं,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल,
है ना? जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई है, अब रात कहाँ जो तू सो रहा। हाँ, मोर चकोर गा रहे कह रहे, हाँ, मोर चकोर गा रहे कह रहे, आ मौसम सूरज से मिलने आ। जन्म सूरज सा दिन भर की है जिंदगी, कहीं शाम न ढल जाए राही और तू जागा नहीं। समझ रहे हो? और यंत्र है चमकीला, जन्म है चमकीला, यंत्र है फरारी। भाग मुसाफिर भाग, चला इस गाड़ी को, क्योंकि सौभाग्य है तेरे, 1000 भाग है तेरे, मत गवा, जाग मुसाफिर जाग।
नंदूलाल जोशी जी, थैंक यू सो मच।